Welcome back again to another edition of How is the Rutherford County Real Estate Market, where we look at the past week's happenings in Murfreesboro, Smyrna, LaVergne, Eagleville, and all of Rutherford County, Tennessee. We've got some great info for you this week. Not only do we have the pendings and closed homes for this week, we're also going to look at some inventory numbers across the nation and also those here locally as well, and see how we compare. So we've got some really good info for you. I am John Turner. I'm the team lead of the Turner Victory team with Onward Real Estate, and I bring you this information every week. Before we get started, if you don't mind, if you find this information helpful, please make sure you click the subscribe button. Please make sure you share this. It helps us out a lot. And we love bringing this information to you. I know we have a lot of real estate agents that look at this and they help their clients with it. We have a lot of our own clients that use this information, and we have a lot of friends who just support us and tune in. So we appreciate all y'all. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get my face out of here, and let's look at what we had happen in Rutherford County for this week. This main sheet, I have changed this up just slightly. For those who tune in every week, you may notice I've got 4 new categories down here now. Our upper end market here in Rutherford County has become so much of a bigger portion of our market than what we've had in the past. I decided I really need to break down the price ranges from $1 million to $2 million and then above $2 million. I can remember not too long ago, I feel like it was 2017 or 18, I wrote a blog at the end of the year highlighting the top 5 sales in all of Rutherford County for that year. And there was only one home that sold for over $1 million. So used not to be the luxury price range, used really not to be anything that we had going on here in Rutherford County, but that certainly has changed over the past few years. So here we are now. Our total current listings, the available inventory right now in Rutherford County is 1,498 homes. I will tell you that is the first time we've been below 1,500 in a while now, and we'll look at the charts here in a minute. 98 new listings, 88 pending homes this week, 97 homes actually closed, and we had 132 homes actually pull themselves off the market, either got expired or canceled. In the past 3 months, we've sold 1,337 homes across Rutherford County, and we have a 3.3 month supply of inventory across all price points. We had 5.87% of the market go under contract this week, and 6.48% of the market closed this week because this was basically the end of the month. So we do see that closed number up higher than the pendants, which is in most weeks we pin more than we actually close. So since we're talking about the luxury price ranges, if you'll look at this, we got 23, 22. So what is that? 40, 45, 55, 65, 70, 72 homes right now on the market above $1 million. And we did not see a whole lot of activity with that this week. There was actually only one pendant over $1 million, and a couple came off the market. If you look at the month supply, though, down here below 300,000, I mean, that market's getting so tiny anyway, except for townhomes. Most of what you see in this 90 current listings are townhomes, and I will tell you, here in Rutherford County and across the nation, townhomes are lagging behind the rest of the market. We're just not seeing the movement in townhomes and condos that we have seen. And again, it's not just here, it's across the nation. Some of it has to do with whenever it was really tough to get into a home and you were competing so much for a home, a lot of people who wanted a single family home couldn't get in. They were priced out of it. So they went to a townhome. Financially, it made sense for them. But we have seen some of the townhome HOA fees go up some over the years. So that has hurt the market some. And not so much the townhomes, but especially condos. You start getting into condos across the nation. and especially where they're in the big condo buildings, like in your downtown areas, your urban areas, or your coastal areas, vacation areas like Panama City, Destin, things like that. The HOA fees have really gone up, and that's really impacted the affordability of those homes. So, but we have just a little over 2 months supply there. Most of our price ranges are within the 2 or 3. It is interesting, the 600,000s now we have a little over 4 months supply there. Same with the 800,000s. But then everything else seems to be pretty healthy, except once we start getting into the higher price ranges. So, let's look at these from a map standpoint. If we look at our new listings chart, let me see here, grab that. New listings we had 98 this week. This time last year, 104. So about on track with what we had this time last year. Definitely down from last week and by far down from 2 or 3 weeks ago. Our pending chart. Pendings right here. We are not only down week over week for 2 weeks, but we are definitely down from this time last year. If you look at this curve right here, this will come into play a little bit later on with these pendings from last year, the blue lines last year, because we've got some information that we'll point out there. But we had 88 pendings this week, down from 104 last week, and 110 this time last year. Our month supply actually dropped quite a bit from 3.52 month supply. We are now at 3.36 month supply, which is pretty consistent with what we've seen over the past few weeks, except for last week's spike there. Available inventory, I told you on this is the overall chart, almost hard to see now, so I broke it down just for 2025. If you notice, we have to go back all the way to July 7th to see where we were below 1,500 available units. So that's not surprising. If you notice, we talked about this last week, this time of year. This is from last year. You could see where our inventory starts dropping off a little bit. So it really is something that we expected, but we are seeing that, and that is a quote-unquote normal trend there. Whenever we look at the percentage of available homes that actually went under contract, we're starting on a new little graph here. So now we're going dark black, dark blue actually, right here. 5.87% of the market went under contract. The past 2 years we had around 9% that went under contract. So definitely with pendings being down this week and inventory, even though it's down this week, it's up from last year. It's really impacted the percent of homes that go under contract. So that just reminds you, as sellers, you've got a lot of competition. So I've been preaching this for I don't know how long now. A lot of competition, so you have to take that into account whenever you are looking to put your home on the market and try and get it sold. Interest rates were in the news a lot this week. The Fed met, they lowered the interest rate by 0.25%. And a lot of people were excited about that. I've had people ask me all week, well, what did that do to mortgage rates? Well, let's look at that. So the Fed met on, Wednesday, I think it was, if I remember correctly. But good news is mortgage rates are down. The average 30-year mortgage rate is 6.17%. And we talk about this every week. Whatever rate you get will be different than that, depending on what type of loan you're getting, your credit score, how much you're putting down, different things like that. But this allows us to see the averages. And we really like this trend down from 6.34 just a few weeks ago to 6.17. And this whole entire trend right here is really nice. It's helping with affordability. And this goes back to May 29th. But I'm going to show you an interesting chart here, because we always talk about that what the Fed does not necessarily impact mortgage rates. Interestingly enough, on the day that the Fed lowered the rate mortgage rates went up. This right here, I'm able to break it out more per day, and we're trying to look at the blue line here. So back on the 28th, this particular rate was at 6.13%. If we go to the 29th, right, this is 29th, yeah, it's 6.27%. So it jumped 0.14%. And that's the day that the Fed met and lowered the interest rate. You say, well, why? What made that happen? Why did that happen? Well, as we've talked about many times on here, mortgage rates are, they already have, they knew that the Fed was going to lower the rate. The Fed said it last time they met. I mean, it was pretty much a 100% deal that they were going to lower it. So mortgage rates had already taken that into account. Mortgage rates had also taken into account that there would be another reduction in December. The markets were pretty certain of that. But the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, after they reduced the rate, he gives a speech, and everybody puts a lot of weight into what he says. Well, he said a few words that really caused a lot of pause to the mortgage rates. What he said is that we are far from certain of having another drop in December. Well, the mortgage rates had already priced in a drop in December, or at least a fairly certain amount, with a certain amount of certainty, a small amount, hard for me to say, isn't it? With a certain amount of certainty that they were going to drop the mortgage rates. Well, all of a sudden, or the interest rates, and all of a sudden the mortgage rates are like, hold up. That doesn't sound like what we want to hear. So mortgage rates reversed their trend a little bit. So not to get into the weeds too much, but people say, well, why did they go up? Because the Fed dropped it 0.25%. Well, it's because of what Jerome Powell said. So wish that guy would keep his mouth shut sometimes. So anyway, here's something interesting. I saw a chart. This is one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, but this is the inventory across the nation, and it's the available inventory compared to where we were before COVID, before the pandemic. So basically, this is the shift in inventory from October 2019 to October 2025. And if you look up in here, all this up in here, the Northeast, their market's going crazy. We got some people that are selling here in Tennessee, and they're moving up to Chicago. And I mean, look at the way that they're just being hit with their inventory up there. Just a real tightening of the inventory here. Also in Alaska, there's a tightening of the inventory. But interestingly enough, Tennessee almost leads the nation in the increase of inventory from 2019 to today. So I think we're the second state is what I'm seeing here. So even across the South, now we know Florida, there's a lot of houses on the market there, a lot of things are sitting, they've got insurance problems. But Tennessee's right here, number 2. So we have 35% more inventory today than what we had in October 2019. So when you're looking to sell your home, you say, man, it seems like nothing's moving. Things are still moving, but there's a lot of competition, a lot more than any of these other states. But it's really interesting how it's clumped up here in the Northeast. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, we've got some of it out west as well. But it's that additional inventory that is making it much tougher for sellers to sell, but it's also what's giving buyers a foothold. I was having a conversation with a friend today who works in the building industry, and they supply a lot of these builders with their products. And the conversation was, we were talking about how many incentives the builders were having to give in our area in order to find buyers to buy their houses. Buyers you have all sorts of leverage right now, especially when it comes to new construction. And we can certainly show you about that and show you how and walk you through that, show you what that looks like. So, all right, so let's get over to Rutherford County. What are sellers doing in Rutherford County? Right now, this motivated meter keeps moving up. It moved even further over here right now, and this is based upon price reductions that that we've seen across the area and how quickly they've come and how steep they are. If you'll notice this too, right in here, if you can see where I'm pointing, this is the price per square foot. And over the past year in Rutherford County, the average price per square foot is down 1.4%. Now, that does not mean that prices are down that same amount, but I would certainly say there's a correlation there. And 41% of all sellers in Rutherford County have actually reduced their price. This is interesting. Over here in Obion County, someone comment and tell me where that is. I feel like that's West Tennessee, maybe the Reelfoot Lake area, I think. I may be wrong, so please tell me whether I'm right or I'm wrong. But 60% cut there. And then in Shelby County, and for those who aren't familiar with this area, that's not Shelbyville, that is Memphis. But 58% of all sellers in Memphis have cut their price. So if we look at Murfreesboro City, the motivated factor is even bigger. A lot more motivated sellers there. And if you look at this price per square foot, it's actually down 3% over the past year. And 40% of all sellers have reduced their price. And in Smyrna, 5.32% motivated, so that's definitely up as well. And I don't think, for some reason, this is not pulling the information as far as price reductions, but I would venture to say it's somewhere in that 40% as well. One other thing, we're not really seeing this right here right now, but the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, came out with this article saying pending home sales numbers hint at growing confidence. So with everything that I'm saying, with the extra inventory we have, with pendings being down this week, it is interesting. The activity does appear to be ticking up a little bit. I think people are starting to get a little bit more motivated because they are seeing some movement with the mortgage rates. They are seeing some leveling with prices, maybe even some decreases with prices. And I think buyers are starting to realize they have leverage in this market. So it is interesting that we are seeing, not just here, but all across the nation, uptick in activity. And I do think we're certainly going to see some numbers increase in the coming months. I don't think we're getting back into a crazy COVID market or anything like that. I don't even think we get back into a quote-unquote normal market, which I will tell you, markets, they go in cycles, so there's really not a normal market. But for those of us who have been doing this for quite a while, this has been one of the slower, if not the slowest markets in many, many years. So we are projecting we will see an uptick in that. So that's the information I've got for you this week. I hope it's been helpful to you. I ask you every week, comment, let me know what other information you might want to hear. Please make sure to subscribe. We enjoy bringing this information to you. Any of my fellow realtors out there listening to this, please use this with your clients. Educated population, educated clients make just for a better overall industry. So please use this to our clients, or if you're thinking about buying or selling and would like to be one of our clients, please reach out to us. We hope this helps you as well. And to all our friends, thank you for supporting us in this. We appreciate it very much. It takes a little effort to bring this to you every week, but I enjoy doing it. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. So I hope you have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you next week.